And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at Guildhall Fantasy Coalition, which just is an odd name. Guildhall Fantasy Coalition. We're going to get together and we're going to make some peace treaties, whatever. Anyway, if you've ever played Guildhall before, this is kind of it's a reworking, it's a revamping, it's a new edition. Some of the cards from the old Guildhall are in here, but it's with a new theme. Fantasy. If you've never heard of it before, that's fine, because we're going to explain the whole game. There are actually 3 different versions of it. You can mix all 3 together, or this one's a complete game in of itself. Speaking of complete game in of itself, let's take a look. The goal of Guildhall is to be the first player to get to 20 points. You're going to do that by getting these point cards and or victory point tokens. As soon as you get that, you will win the game. Now, there's a big deck of cards in this game that are made up of different character classes. We have the Cleric, the Rogue, the Paladin, the Artificer, the Warlock, and the Barbarian. Each of these comes in 5 different colors, and there are 4 copies of each color. So there's 4 red clerics, 4 green clerics, 4 blue clerics, etc. Players are going to draw 9 of these, start with 3 of them in front of them. That's their Guildhall. And they're going to be playing more of them because on your turn you have 2 actions. One of your actions can be discard as many cards from your hand as you want and draw back up to 6. You can do each action. You can do that multiple times if you want. You can play a card and possibly do any special abilities that that card gives you. Or when you have the 5th card of the same type in front of you. So let's say, for example, you have all 5 paladins of the different colors in front of you. You turn them into a completed chapter. Whenever you play more than 1 card of the same type, that's considered a chapter. You can't play multiples of the same color, so I can't play 2 yellow paladins in front of me. In fact, when I'm playing cards in front of me, I can only play 1 paladin per turn. I can't play 2 of the same person per turn. But anyway, when you finish them all, it's a completed chapter. As an action, you can discard a chapter and take a point card. This one takes 1 chapter and will give you 4 points. It also lets you draw 5 cards in your hand. Or I can just take 5 points, my choice. Or I can take 2 points and then look through the deck and take 3 cards and put them in my hand. If I have 2 chapters, I can turn them in for 7 points and take 2 extra actions, or maybe turn them in for 9 points. You can have up to 3 completed chapters in front of you, but then you got to turn them in to get points. So let's take a closer look at the special abilities that the cards give you when played. Now, when you play a card in front of you, the special ability it gives you is equal to the number of that particular card already out there. So when I play a rogue, if I have no rogues in front of me, I take that special ability. If I have 1 rogue in front of me, I take that special ability. But once I have 2, I go to the next one. And once I have 4, I'll do the last one. So this one lets you switch a card from your Guildhall with one in your opponent's Guildhall. This one lets you switch 2 for 2. And this one lets you switch a whole chapter from your Guildhall with a chapter from theirs. Of course, my chapter may have 1 and theirs may have 4. But hey, who's there to differentiate? The Cleric basically lets you draw as many cards as you already have clerics on the table, and then you get to take an extra action. The Artificer is going to let you take cards from the deck and put them directly into your hall. This is kind of a push your luck style thing. So I can flip a card from the deck. Oh, it's a purple paladin. Great, I put it in my hall. If I already have a purple paladin, well, it's discarded. And you can see as you get longer and bigger, if I have 4 Artificers in front of me, I get to draw 5 cards and put them in my hall. Speaking of paladins, the paladin, the first time you play it, everyone gets a victory point. The second time you play it, everyone gets a victory point again. And then once you have 2 paladins, you steal a victory point from someone else. When you have 4 paladins, you will steal 2 victory points from everyone else. The Warlock lets you steal a card from your opponent's hand and put it right into your Guildhall. Hopefully it's one that you don't already have, but once you have 2 or 4, you can look in their hand and pick the cards that you're stealing. And then the Barbarian, which has a lot of confusing symbology there, but pretty simply, you discard a card from your Guildhall, and then you discard a card from an opponent's Guildhall, and then you get to draw a card. And then later on, you discard a card from your Guildhall to get rid of a whole chapter from someone else's Guildhall. So you're playing these cards and you're doing different things, trying to get these points, and take these cards in front of you, which are replaced when you take one, taking those plus any victory point chips you get, and whoever has the most point, well, I'm sorry, whoever gets to 20 first wins. So I said this was a complete game. It actually comes with dividers to keep all the different people separate in case you want to mix them with other games. And I'll be talking about how that works in a separate video. But these dividers also tell you what each of the characters does. So let's talk about these characters. The cleric, I like the cleric because the more you have, the more cards you draw. And then you get that extra action. So people like that because you can do more with them. Draw cards, take an extra action. The rogue is fun, just switching cards with your opponent. It's a mean card, but you at least have to give them a card. The paladin is an interesting one because it gives everyone victory points and then you start stealing them from other people. The stealing is mean, but if you steal cards from other people with the paladin, you have likely given them some victory points already, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. And if lots of people are playing paladin, there's victory points all over the place. The artificer is possibly my favorite character in the whole game, and that's because I just love that whole push your luck aspect. Draw 3 cards, woo, and you put them in your guild. Hopefully, maybe they might even finish a chapter if you're lucky. That sort of thing is a lot of fun. The Barbarian is actually then my least favorite card in the game because you get rid of one of your own cards to get rid of one of your opponents. And then draw a card. That's okay, I guess. I don't like hurting myself to hurt somebody else, so not one that I'm real keen on. And then Barbarian, basically, where you're stealing cards from someone else's hand and putting them in your guild hall. Again, another push your luck when it's blind, but if you can look and say, I think you have that 5th paladin I need, let me see your hand, and then you can pull it and put it into your thing. So I really enjoy this set. It's a good one. It's probably, of the sets, despite the Barbarian, it's probably my favorite of the sets, mostly because I like that push your luck aspect. The artwork is cool. The fantasy theme, I can take it or leave it. The theme doesn't matter that much. There is certainly a take that element to the game, and therefore I think the game plays best with 2 players as opposed to 4. 4 is okay, it's good. The 3 is much better, and 2 is the best. And the reason for that is because fewer players, the game goes quicker, and also if I have like 4 cards and I'm about to finish a chapter, and 3 other players go, they can all hit me with negative cards before I go, and that kind of draws the game out, and it makes take that less fun. With 2 players, you're kind of expecting the other person to come after you. And for the take that elements, this is probably the least take that of the 3 different Guildhall Fantasy sets, so there is that. So either way, though, I really like Guildhall. It's an excellent game. I certainly recommend you check it out, whether you've played it before or if it's your first time. It's a cool set to get into. Guildhall Fantasy Coalition. Dice Tower Judgment, excellent!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!